I think there's only, 5, 6, 7 tracks. It's not even being called an album. It's being called a collection of work, right? So for those of you who have not been keeping up, Meg Thee Stallion has had some issues with her production company her label 1501 Records, who is headed up by and we talked about this, Evelyn Lozada's she was formerly engaged to Carl Crawford, and he is the father to her son Leo. And she, so anyway, Meg is signed to 1501 Records, which is through him, which I guess has some sort of affiliation with Jay Prince. And he is, if you're not familiar with him, you'll hear a lot about his son, Jaz Prince, who, they work together very closely with Drake, and, amongst a myriad of artists. They also work together with a lot of Houston artists. So basically, Meg had claimed that 1501 Records was kind of stiffing her and not allowing her to release new music. She did get a court-sanctioned injunction, which allowed her to release this album. Now, part of me, when I first started to hear this, I thought to myself, well, that's fucked up. I'm so tired of hearing artists complain about the fact that they sign these really fucked up ass contracts. And then part of me thought to myself as it died down this weekend after Friday's drop, is this part of her music release? Like, what is this all about? Like, why? I don't know. A lot of something about Meg and her, the fight for this record contract, and, wanting to, it sounds to me like she wants to be released to do more work with Roc Nation. But if, for those of you who didn't understand Meg's deal, now Megan's deal called for the delivery of one full LP record, which she has yet to release a full-length album. So everything that we've ever heard from Meg has either been EPs, mixtapes, or just a collection of work. She has yet to release a body of a full-length album. Now her contract basically said that she would have to release one full record with 2 options to additional albums. Of note, for an album delivery to count towards the deal, it must clock in at no less than 45 minutes. So just so you know, Tina Snow clocked in at 30, Fever clocked in at 40, and Suga is only clocking in at 24 minutes. Now, in addition to her advance that she received from 1501, they also committed for the Tina Snow project a minimum of $60,000 and a maximum of $100,000, including mastering and marketing costs. Now, the recording budget for the second and third commitment albums, assuming 1501 would pick up those options, would be the same, right? So she would get 60 and a maximum of 100,000 to record. Now, this is not like back in the day where like going into the studio was $200 to $500 an hour. Niggas can record in their fucking house if they want to. You know what I mean? So it's not that big of a deal. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but and this information came from DJ Booth, and not the Booth that you know from Wendy Williams, but a different DJ Booth. That everyone has spoken with, he said that basically, based on everything that he's read and everyone that he's spoken with about this, people far smarter than him, that Megan will eventually lose in court in terms of her deal with 1501 Records. And he would bet that Roc Nation would basically try to buy her out of her deal. And basically also buy future royalties as part of the deal. Now, here's one thing to note. Megan does not own any of her her masters, and that was part of the deal. So it's almost like she is signed to a production deal or a record deal to another company that's signed to another company. So it's a lot of craziness surrounding it. Jay Prince released a statement which basically, by and large, said, now, I didn't even know that Meg Thee Stallion's mom was a rapper. Did any of you guys know this shit? I had no fucking idea. But apparently Meg Thee Stallion's mom was a rapper who also was managing Meg's career at the unfortunate time of her death. Now, the one thing that was cringy to me in all of this was when Jay Prince threw out there that Meg's mom, who is deceased, apparently she could read and read the contract and knew what was going on. I felt like that was super cringy worthy. And I didn't understand why he felt the need to include that statement. I thought it was pretty nasty. But I'm looking forward to seeing what ends up happening with Meg and her getting this stuff straightened out with 1501. Now, right now, it looks like Meg is projected to come in with the third best-selling album of the week. She's looking to be projected at 40,000 units sold, where Lil Uzi looks like he is dropping so far with one of the best album releases of the year, coming in with 325,000 units sold, and it looks like Janae is going to be coming in second place with 120,000 units sold. Now, for last week, it looks like DaBaby came in with 190,000. Bad Bunny came in at number 2, and it looks like G Herbo came in at number 3. Now, all I have to say is that I don't even think that I'm emotionally ready to take in Janae's album. I feel like I have to get myself mentally ready for it, because honestly, I'm not in the mood to cry. I'm not in the mood to be in my bag, in my Birkin. So I'm just depending on what a lot of you have said. And it seems like a lot of you feel like it's a bop. Hopefully she does well. And it seems like a lot of you are already buying tickets to her show. Now, I saw tickets going for as much as $900 to over $1,000 for seats to a Janae Aiko show. Really? That's surprising to me. I'm not paying that much to go see her. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry, I'm not. But, I think it's really interesting that some of you guys love her that much. And kudos to you. Let's take a quick break, and then we are going to pull up to the table, and we're going to set the table this week to move from information to inspiration. We'll be right back. And we are back. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with what we do here at this podcast, we always set the table for a different topic week after week, where hopefully I am imparting some sort of knowledge on you, or you're having some sort of light bulb moment. A lot of times when I set the table, it is not just because, I had a fleeting thought about something. Oftentimes it's because of something that either I've gone through or one of you guys have gone through and have, either written an email to me or DM'd me and said, I'm going through this right now and I'm not sure how to deal with it. But something caught my eye this week. And it was a video that went viral. And in the video was a 4-year-old girl named Ariana. And she is seen in the video getting her dreads twisted by someone who is her hairstylist / her auntie. And I don't know if that's real aunt or play aunt, but nonetheless, in the video, you can see young Ayana sitting there, and her hairstylist is talking to her, and you hear this 4-year-old girl say, "But I'm still ugly. And you see in the video and you hear that her hairstylist / aunt consoles her and affirms her beautiful skin and her dimples, and you know, she's basically just tries to speak as much life into this beautiful little girl as possible. And I have to tell you that it broke my heart to watch this video. It broke my heart for several reasons. One of which is as a Black woman, I too have had moments where I have not only suffered at the hands of other people of color or other Black people in terms of my beauty and or what I may have been insecure about, lack thereof, but also I think that a lot of what I felt about myself and a lot of what oftentimes a lot of us have gone through and have felt about ourselves is through insecurity based off of the information that we have taken in about who we are. And I think that it is important for us to know that our experience is very broad, and it is based oftentimes not just on interaction between other people, but from what we read, what we see, what we are taught, what we listen to, our music. And that is why oftentimes I am very hyper aware of being a creative and being very cognizant of the weight that and the responsibility that holds. You know, and I think oftentimes people who are creatives aren't even aware of the weight and the bearing of the responsibility and the accountability that holds. You think about it. The music that you've listened to, not that it's just the soundtrack to your day, but that music helped you get through. That music inspired you. That music may have made you feel bad about yourself. You know, oftentimes when I can remember hearing a song by Lil Wayne, and he was like saying basically in the beginning of the song, I like them thick and light skinned, red boned. And I thought to myself, oh, well, that's nice. You know, I mean, it was just a song, but it dawned on me that I had never heard those words uttered about a dark-skinned woman. I remember watching videos even and watching television shows and not really seeing adequate representation of myself. And so therefore, what I was internalizing, the information that I was taking in, was that I wasn't good enough. Now, a lot of times people think that, well, let me just say this. It's important that we all understand and know that information sometimes is not what colors your experience, right? Because information is just that. It's just a myriad of words that you're given, and that's it. It doesn't kind of resonate to you all day. Unlike if you are reading a book and you have to visualize what that is, or you're looking through a magazine, or you're listening to music and you take that and you take it with you throughout the day. A lot of times information such as, oh my God, you're so beautiful, or oh my God, you are pretty, even when you're told that in your home. Even when you yourself are imparting that on a young child or on a friend who may be feeling insecure about who they are, or even when you're imparting that information on yourself. Sometimes it's a wonder, why can't I get it to stick? But see, information is just that. It's just words